Do you ever think that we're just looking for something to have as the intro sequence now?
Yeah.
Hello, I'm Mark.
I'm Joe.
And welcome to the GAK Show.
So it's another sunny day down here in Brighton, and once again we're locked away in a dark studio drinking hot cups of coffee.
Indeed.
Which isn't a great idea. But do you know what is a great idea?
I do indeed. It's this thing I have right down here.
It is the brand new Earthquaker Devices. You can't get it out of the box.
I'm getting it.
Flanger, the Pyramids, which is like a multi-channel flanger. It's like a multi-purpose flanger, so it's got loads and loads of different presets on it.
There's colours as well.
It's great. All of Earthquaker Devices pedals always look great.
I'm a fan of teal.
Yeah. Okay. Well, this is a nice teal. But this is a great pedal. I know what you're thinking. It's a flanger. When was the last time any of us actually bought a flanger? I don't think any other effect has like fallen from grace quite as much as flange.
Flange.
I think chorus is used maybe a lot less these days, but you know, with all this sort of
I'd say chorus has made a comeback.
Yeah, definitely. Along with Shell Suits and Adidas, it's made a comeback.
Maybe it's the time for
the
return of flange.
The flange is on its way back. Well, it certainly should be. This is like one of Earthquaker Devices' premium, like top-end pedals. So I don't know what these are. These are like 300-ish pounds. Like it's the top end of Earthquaker Devices stuff, which is bonkers when you think that it's a flanger. Like when they do it with a delay or a reverb or like a dual foot switch fuzz, I'm like, oh yeah, that's, obviously people love those types of pedals, and you sort of accredit a value to those sort of types of effects. But flanger, I don't know, I think the only flanger I have is like the Moore Elect Lady, which is like 40 quid. But this is great. This has changed my mind on flanger pedals.
So, shall we grab a guitar? I've got one.
I've got one.
Let's both grab a guitar. And obviously we got the ABY box.
Yeah. So I can turn you off.
You can turn me off. It's better than turning me on.
There it is.
So I've got my rather lovely custom Tele. So
yeah, let's turn it on and see what it sounds like. Okay, so the Pyramids. It gives you more. You've got loads of like preset flanger options on here. So we'll start with the classic, but it's also loaded with all these like really modern takes on flanger, so you can get these kind of synthy sounds. It's also important. It's worth noting that it's a stereo in and out, which I think makes this super cool for keyboard players as well. But let's have a listen to the basic like classic old school. That's like a cool, simple, old school flanger. We can deal with the rate on this little switch here, as well as being able to control it on a rotary, so we get like... But we've got some of the things that we're not going to go into everything in the show, but the other things that I thought were super cool that it does is you've got these like triangle versions, but have a bash on it now. That's arpeggiate stepped flanger. Like there's so much you can do with this. I think about this pedal as being more than just a flanger pedal. This is like modulation in a box. Now modulation can be used, you find like places you can use chorus, you can also use a phaser, or you could use a vibrato. Like it's to add that little bit more to your tone, and I kind of think this is everything you ever need in a box, because you've got such great subtle options in there, but it also does such super cool, like really interesting modern stuff as well.
So on the ever-changing, what would you call it?
What? Oh, on the wall.
On the ever-changing wall of guitar wall stand thing. I didn't actually see you bring this in. I only noticed it like a second ago.
Great.
It is
fantastic.
This lovely 7-string signature.
Yeah, this is the ESP. This is the Stephen Carpenter signature 7-string baritone. That's right. I said 7-string baritone. It's a completely ridiculous instrument.
But it looks amazing.
Yeah, so Stephen Carpenter from Deftones has had a slew of signature models with ESP through the years. Most recently, this Tele style instrument, but it was always available just in black. Now it currently comes with these Fishman Fluence pickups, which are super popular. They're turning up in loads and loads of different guitars at the moment. I think previously this came with either ESP's own or maybe they were EMGs, but this is a new thing for the Stephen Carpenter model. And it's great. I love everything about it. I mean, it being a baritone 7-string is that's a ridiculous thing anyway. So it's a 27-inch scale and you've got an extra string. It's like the perfect metal guitar. I love that it's through body as well. So and especially with the green sparkle, it's so good. It's so good. It's such a great guitar. Locking tuners, it looks banging, especially with the Fishman pickups. I am really into this guitar, and because it's because it's an LTD, it's only like a bit over $1,000, and I think that is
winning.
That is a great price for a guitar in this sort of finish. I've always loved, you know what was really weird about the Stephen Carpenter models are having the two humbuckers like this close together in this position. Like instead of having a neck humbucker, it's in the middle, like as if metal needed more mids. Like it's I think it's brilliant.
So this is the part of the show where I challenge Joe to do different things every week, and this week I challenge Joe to find me the ultimate travel rig.
Challenge Joe!
This week I've got to find the ultimate travel rig. So that is a complete guitar setup that we can use anywhere. So I'm going to try and find a guitar, I guess a guitar that's small, and I'm going to try and find like a battery powered amp, but it has to be the ultimate travel guitar rig. So I guess I've got to find an amp that's got some cool built-in features, maybe a few effects to make things a bit more interesting. Let's have a look. I love the pig nose guitars. They're brilliant. They're brilliant because they've got an amp built in. So surely this must be the ultimate guitar for travel. But it doesn't really clean up very well, and whilst it's a super short scale and probably the best looking guitar in the world, I think we maybe need a touch more versatility. So Roland do loads of amps in their portable travel amp range. Loads of stuff with built-in effects, which is great. They've got this whole range of street cubes that are perfect for buskers. This is probably the best thing I've found, the Microcube GX, and it's got tons of built-in effects and amp models and things like that. But I wonder if we could get something a little smaller. The Yamaha THR, which is Yamaha's solution to portable, versatile amps. Now, I kind of always felt like this was more designed as a studio solution because everything on board is just so high quality. But this has loads of stuff on it, loads of amp models, loads of cool sounds. I think this is a good contender. So what's better than a Strat? A tiny Strat, perfect for travel. Although, I guess you can't really play this when it's not plugged in, so Marshall do a fantastic range of battery-powered amps. They're great for travel, and I guess they're kind of perfectly designed for travel. You can run them off of a 9-volt battery, or you can run them off of like a pedal board power supply. And I mean, they don't exactly sound like a Marshall stack, but I'm sure if you got 50 of them and plugged them together, that they would.
So, what have you got?
Okay, I'm really into travel gear, and I did actually. One thing we didn't show in the video is I popped up to acoustics because I thought there were loads of cool little things, not ukuleles, that you can that you can get.
You don't love ukuleles?
I don't love ukuleles at all. There are loads of cool, like, travel-y acoustics as well. But if you wanted an electric guitar setup, which is what I kind of thought this needed to be, something that could do a bit of everything, I ended up settling on something which I think might be the perfect travel guitar. It is the Hofner Shorty. And the reason I chose this, well, part of the reason was because it actually already comes in a travel bag, like a really conveniently sized travel bag. And the other thing I love about the Hofner Shorties are they come in loads of cool colours, including this rather fetching blue. But these are great guitars. They're actually fun to play. They're pretty comfortable. Despite sort of the weird body shape and how it sits quite low.
It is weird
on you. It's a bit weird, but I still think it's properly cool. I think they come in cool colours. I think they look great. I think they play really well for what they are. And we've talked about these before.
Yeah, because we talked about these with the Back to the Future.
Yeah, but
our replacement for the Chiquita.
Exactly, and pointed out that they're like only just over £100, which is. That's the sort of money you want to spend on like a travel guitar, because it's not something you're ever going to use live or in recording. It's something that you want. It's a writing tool essentially, or it's just a bit of fun. And I think this is a cracking solution for that. Amp-wise, I know we chose a Boss Katana last week for the Ultimate All-Rounder, but no one is doing anything really quite like the Boss Katana Mini in the sort of battery-powered amp range. The reason I say that, I mean, I think it's a lot more money. They're less than £100, but if you think about... Yeah, which is fine, like, that's cool, but if you think about the other, like, battery amps that are out there, it's like the Black Star, Fly Rig, all those little, like, Marshall MS2s, they're all, like, £20, £30.
True.
There's a reason that it's loads more money, and there's a reason that I chose it. And much like the Katana that we were using last week, this has cool additional features. So you don't get all the effects, obviously, that you get with the Katana, but you do have like drive, and you do have delay on there. And I kind of think for like cool, usable effects when you're messing around with your Hofner Shorty, I think that's all you need. And also crucially, it actually sounds good. You know, battery amps can be loads of fun, but we know that they all sound rubbish. This doesn't sound rubbish. This is a great way of actually sounding good. On the go, coupled with your Hofner Shorty, you're onto a winner.
A couple £100, and you are winning. So at NAMM this year, Line 6 shocked everyone, or maybe didn't shock actually anyone. They shocked me.
By releasing the HX Effects, which is the effects from the Helix range in a standalone unit, which is
Very
great.
cool.
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of exactly what everyone who doesn't use Helix style things wanted, because we all wanted access to all those cool effects, because the Helix was demonstrating that it was a great piece of equipment. All the sounds on there, all the effects sounded brilliant, but not everyone wants amp modeling or wants to go straight into front of house or anything like that. So putting everything on the HX Effects was a great move, and it was kind of the product that everyone wanted. The other cool thing that they did, of course, the M series from Line 6, the M5, M9 and M13, which were all super popular. Everyone was, they were on an awful lot of boards. They've put all the legacy effects from the M series and are now in the HX Effects as well. So
when we were at NAMM as well, we actually got to meet the Line 6 guys, and we had a chat with Eric Klein, I think his name is.
Yeah.
Who took us through it. Have you had a chance to actually play on it yet?
Yeah, I've got some time with it. Of course, it was cool to get to see it because we all went to the Line 6 Centre in America just before, a few days before now, and we got to see this, which is really cool. But of course, I think with all these multi-effects units, you need to learn how to work it to sort of get the most out of it. And we've spent some time on it now, and it's pretty cool. This isn't going to be a demo of the HSFX by any means, but to give you an idea of how versatile this is, I think this is the ultimate pedal board solution. Like, I think if you've got a few other things, because the idea of this is like, hey, loads of people, like, you might have a Klon Centaur. You might not want to take that off of your board. Like, everyone's got a favorite drive. If you're a bass player and you're using this, you've probably got like a really cool compressor that you love that you don't want to take off of your board. And that's what's cool. You can integrate this with other things. So,
cool, let's have a listen.
Well, yeah, okay, so first of all...
Can you hit my button?
Oh, yeah, let me hit your button. Yeah, okay. So at the moment you can see... we're in this bank mode. I'll explain this to you so you can see how this is a complete solution to your pedal board. At the moment, in our bank mode, we can see this guitar starter, A wash, edgy, and the mono E mono. Now, that's giving us a few effects. We've got a reverb, we've got some delay on there. We switch over to the A wash, and we see we've got reverb. It sounds like we've got some sort of pitch bending going on in there as well, but that's what's so great about these. These are just patches with a number of effects on. If we go into guitar starter and we switch to the mode, we can now see what that patch consists of. So in this case, I can see that it's chorus, it's a vintage style digital delay, it's a kinky boost, and you've also got a plate verb. And I can see which ones of these are on. I can turn off the boost, I can turn off the digital delay, I can turn on the chorus, and I can turn on this plate. At all times you've got access to a looper, which is pretty cool. I mean, that is an incredibly straightforward, easy to understand looper. And at any time, if we just want to flick out of that, we can hit that mode button and go back to where we've got the presets. And you can bank up and down. Like, look at these great big sort of very visible screens that allow us to flick through, and we can see, I mean, we've run out of presets that way, but we've got like, look, there's some bass presets in there. There's an acoustic one. We've got like an ambience one. That sounds cool. And if we open that up, we can see that it consists of an auto swell, and it's got this Cosmos Echo. If we want to edit this at any time, we can stick our thumb over the top. You just touch, and it brings up all the controls for that effect. Come on.
Well, what could you want, really?
Exactly. It's so straightforward, and it's well good. So this is the part of the show where we take a product and we test it to destruction. In the past, we've dropped microphones into pitchers of beer, and we've dropped ukuleles off of the top of buildings. This is
The Reckoning.
So this week we have decided to
take a Sledgehammer to a Marshall MS2.
So we have grabbed one of the Marshall MS2s, our trusty little pals, and we are going to destroy it.
We're going to hit it with a Sledgehammer. Now, the idea is, because I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, obviously it won't survive, but I think it will, because despite,
I don't know.
Yeah, well, despite the chassis being mostly made of plastic, I'm figuring it's such a simple circuit. As long as the PCB stays intact, as long as the speaker is still connected to the input jack, I reckon these MS2s are more hard-wearing than you might think. So the Sledgehammer had quite an impact on the MS2, and it's now in quite a lot of pieces, but you know what? Exactly what I thought would happen did happen. The PCB looks pretty intact. The speaker is still attached to the power section. I don't know what that cable was going to, but I reckon we're going to be okay. So let's get some power.
I don't know.
Let's get some power and see if we get electrocuted.
Put that in there.
And then...
Is it this jack?
Yeah. No, we can leave that there.
B.
And then...
B?
Yeah, if you just...
Into
No.
Yeah, plug it in.
Yeah, plug it in.
Ready?
I'm ready. I'm sorry, but that's great. If anything, it's improved it. I'm not saying that GAK recommends you going out and smashing up your MS2, but if you want that vintage rock and roll tone... So that was episode 4 of the GAK show. Go check out the HX Effects. It's absolutely killer. If you want a travel rig, you should check out the Katana Mini and the Hofner Shorty. They're wicked too.
We learned that this little bad boy, the MS2, can survive a sledgehammer ring.
Yep.
And we also took a look at the Pyramid Earthquaker Pyramid flanger, which was super cool.
Yeah. So if you like this video, don't forget to leave a like and a comment below.
And if you want to see more videos like this, then don't forget to hit the subscribe button, and we shall see you very soon.